drawing on its own. We've made a machine that can draw all by itself. You just can sit here and watch it do its thing. Now, just before we get started on today's episode, kids, let me just remind you about our merch items available on our website, like our mini Ozzie hat made just for kids' heads. One of my favourites, Ozzie socks, with a nice little message reminding you to always stay keen. You can get yourself a sweatband, just like Ozzie's, but even cooler, with Ozzie's logo. Or a mini replica Ozzie tee made just for you kids. Or, brand new to our website, is our personalised video message made just for you from Ozzie. Right now available on our website, ozzieforkids.com.
Ozzie, 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 oi! Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.
G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie.
G'day kids, it's Ozzie here. Today we have another very exciting episode brought to you by CrunchLabs. Our good mate Mark Rober has sent these couple of kits out to us. We've already done one before, this one here on one of our other episodes. This is called the disc launcher. Now today we are going to be earning ourselves another gear badge. We're going to find out what's inside this one. This is called the drawing machine. We're going to open it together and check it out. So we have an instruction booklet and we have lots and lots of different parts. And a pen with CrunchLabs and different colors. I love these pens. Black, green, red, and blue. Oh, I can't wait to use that. Let's clean up the area here and let's get started. So there you go, kids. I've opened that box, opened all the bags, and we've spread out our gear out. It's everywhere. There's lots and lots of different parts. We've got some paper. I wonder what we're going to do with that once we finish building this. So let's get started together. We'll open the instruction booklet here. And as you can see, it has all the parts listed. Oh, these are motors. Wow. We're going to build something together that's got motors in it. And we're going to learn all about the technology, the engineering behind it. All right, kids, so we've got our instruction booklet and all of our parts ready to go. We're going to start on step one with our geared DC motors. And we're going to get these little bit of foam. I'm going to stick those on there. Okay, so that's step number one done. We're on to step number two, and it says to locate the yellow backed wooden piece. It looks like that. To get that ready, we're going to peel off this little bit of sticky backing off our blue bit of foam there. Okay, step number 3, we're going to take our battery pack, this one here, battery pack, and then we're going to take this bit of blue foam and we're going to stick that down on the side that has the power button on it. Okay, now we're moving on to step number 4. We're going to take our wood backing here and our 2 DC motors and our battery, and we're going to peel that sticky side off there. And then we're going to line those up with the diagram there on the instruction booklet. Put the on-off switch through there. Getting it nice and straight before you press it down hard. And you press it firmly in place. Now with the DC motors, you just got to make sure that you take note of the square and the round hole, because these are different. So the square one, you need to line it up, as it says here, square with that hole. All right, making sure all of those holes are lining up with the corresponding holes on the DC motors and the battery. And it should look just like that. It's looking good so far. So that's step number 4. All right, step number 5, we're going to take these black elastic mounting cords or cables, feed it through the holes. That's why it's really important to make sure that you line those holes up with the holes on the DC motor. I'm going to thread that through there. Lock this side in place just by twisting that metal bit sideways. And that goes over the motor and feeds back through that hole. To the other side. And that'll just lock it in place. Extra security. Make sure it's not going to fall off. Then we do that again with the other one. So now we are up to step number 6, kids, and we're going to take our red wire splitter. That's what that's called, a wire splitter. And we're going to connect the red wire from our battery pack to the red wires on our DC motors. So red to red for this step. 3 wires connected. Now we go on to step number 7 and we do the exact same thing using the black wire splitter. Black from the motor, black from the battery pack to black on both the motors, 1 and 2. And that's step 7, all done. And we move on to step number 8. Good job, kids. All right, step number 8, I'm gonna flip this over and we're gonna take these yellow foam pieces, pop those little sections out and remove that sticky covering. I'm going to put them onto these blue discs. All right, then we're going to press them onto this side of the DC motors. Just pressing them by hand, just gently. All right, so now it's time to test this out and see if we've connected everything correctly. If we have, then these discs will start to spin around. Let's check it out. Success! There you go, kids. You can see they're sitting at different heights as well. So I wonder what that's going to do when we finish this off and connect everything. I wonder why they're different heights. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to go on now to step 10. All right, step number 10, kids. We're going to turn this over so that we have the right side up following this pitch over here, and we're going to connect these red feet to the corners of this wooden frame. All right, step number 11, we're going to flip this back over and grab this yellow wood clip, put that yellow clip there, and taking our black elastic, we're going to feed it through here. There you go, so that's going to hold it in place. Okay, with that clipped on there, we can move on to step number 12. And it says to take this little blue ball and just pop it under there. Ah, cool. So with that, we've created our very own clipboard. Now it says here a pro tip. Let's learn about what we've just done there. That's called a ball joint. And it uses a ball like that, like we just put in there, to help things rotate smoothly. It says you actually have ball joints in your shoulders and hip bones. Oh, I can feel the ball joints. So just like that, a little ball joint helps things rotate smoothly around like your shoulders and your hips. All right, step number 13, we're going to take this piece here, this blue wooden piece, which I believe is called a linkage, and we're going to stick the Velcro, the black Velcro, just like this to that ring, lining it up carefully. Like that. And step number 14, we're going to take this blue little top hat looking piece and the white Velcro ring, and stick that white Velcro ring over the top, sliding it down to the bottom like the instructions show us. Okay, and sticking it to the bottom just like that. And then we're going to take this linkage, slide it over the top and Velcro it down on top of that. There you go, that's cool. That's step 13, 14 and 15 all done. Okay, step 16, we're going to take this blue wooden piece and we're going to use this little blue rivet. It's called a rivet. I'm going to connect it on top of this linkage that we just created. Now, just making sure that you're following the instructions really carefully and using this end that has one hole and not the end that has one hole and two little ones. You just put that on top and then push the rivet through. Like that. Look at that. Okay, moving through now to step number 17. We're going to take this red linkage, this wooden piece that matches with that one, slide it over top of that blue top hat looking piece. And then we're going to take this red wooden piece, pop it on top of there, grab another blue rivet, which is going to hold that together. Push that in there gently, making sure that we're using the single hole and letting the 3-hole end stay down that side. Pop that like that. All right, that's 17 and 18. We're on to step number 19 now, and it's showing us to cross these over to create like an X. See the X there? And then we're going to take another blue rivet and connect those together. Look at that. So we've created this piece here, which is going to play a very important role in this drawing arm that we're building together. But I want to go back to here to the pro tip. I've mentioned the word rivet a couple of times. And it says here, the rivet holds the linkage arms together and lets the arms rotate easily. Pivots are the point that things rotate around. It's a pivot rivet. Haha, that's cool. So those 3 rivets are called pivot rivets, and they let them move freely, just like that. We're going to move on to step number 20. So this is called a scissor linkage. You can see that sort of looks like a pair of scissors, doesn't it? So that, I think that's the same kind of pivot, rivet, and linkage that scissors use. So we're going to take that and then use these white bolts and connect them, or connect the scissor linkage onto those blue wheels. Just on the outside holes there, following the instructions. And we're turning those clockwise for me, clockwise that way. Right, and that tightens it. Turning it to the right, which is the way the clock goes. It's called righty-tighty and lefty-loosey. That's a good little one to remember when you're tightening things up. You always turn it to the right. When you're loosening it, you turn it to the left. All right, that's step 20. All right, step number 21, and I think we're getting very close to seeing this drawing machine in action. We're going to take a white piece of paper and slide it under our little clip there. Okay, then we get to connect our pen. That's a cool pen. Pop that in there, and using one of the white bolts, we're just going to secure that in place. So that pen just goes into that little blue top hat piece. That's a pen holder. And we just want to make sure that we've got enough of that pen showing out the bottom. I'm going to choose a color. What color are we going to go for today? Let's start with green. It's one of my favorite colors. And we just want to make sure that when we tighten that pen, that the linkage stays parallel, which means even with the wooden backing. We don't want it to sit high like that. We don't want it to sit too low. So we're just going to get it even. Tighten that pen. And then I'm going to turn it on and watch it do its thing. Wow! It's drawing on its own. We've made a machine that can draw all by itself. We just can sit here and watch it do its thing. So you can see that that's just doing its own thing, and it's almost tracing the same lines. It's just going around and creating its own pattern. And the longer that you let it go, the more detailed that drawing will become. It's actually quite mesmerizing. So what we've created here today, kids, is part of what we would call at school STEM or STEAM. Science, technology, engineering, art, and maths. Now this is very much the engineering and the art coming together to create this. We've learned all about linkages. We've learned about rivets and rivet pivots. And we've learned lots of different colors as we're going. All right, we're just going to let that drawing machine do its thing, like magic, on its own there. But now that we've completed it, we've earned ourselves another gear badge. This one is called linkages because we've learned all about linkages today, and we've learned about pivot rivets, and we've built our own drawing machine, which is pretty cool. But our gear badge can go over here next to our flywheel gear badge that we earned in our other episode where we built together a disc launcher. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out. It's super fun. But let's have a look here at some of the pro tips and talk about some of the other things that this really cool drawing machine can do. Linkage arms, again, are the long pieces that make up a linkage. Changing the number of pivots in the linkage arms will change the way the whole linkage moves. So you can start to create different shapes, different sizes of drawings. That's pretty cool, and I guess that's why we've got these really long red and blue linkage arms. All right, before we change these linkages, before we change the position of the radius, let's have a look at what we created on our first try. Look at that. So there you go. That's the first drawing we did. I'll just take that out so you can get a better look. Look at that. How clever is that? That looks really cool. Wow, I love all the detail in it. You can see that our drawing machine has just gone round and round, slightly different paths, and created that very, very cool machine. And let's change these bits and see what it does. So we're going to put it on the inside hole. Lefty-loosey to undo that screw, that bolt. And righty-tighty to our right, twisting that one. Oh, how cool. Let's get another piece of paper. Set it up. Maybe we'll use a different color this time. What do you reckon, kids? Let's start with red. Just get that nice and parallel or level with our wooden backing. All right, let's turn it on and see what it does. All right, so this is a whole lot smaller. The radius of the circular shapes that this is drawing are so much smaller than our green friend over here. And that is because we've changed the distance or the length of that scissor linkage. This is so clever and very, very cool. All right, so we've got a really cool little red drawing. Look at that one. That's much smaller than our green friend over here. And we've got these awesome long linkage arms that we can connect into here and see what other shapes we can draw. And you can see that there's some examples over here of different shapes, different sizes. Some are long, some are round, some are big, some are small. But kids, there's lots and lots of fun to have here. And then you've got the different colors as well. I hope you've loved learning all about linkages today, earning another gear badge with this awesome kit from CrunchLabs and Mark Rober. Kids, it's been awesome. I've learned a lot. I hope you have too. We'll see you on another brand new episode of Ozzie this weekend. Until then, stay keen. I'm going to keep exploring. If you haven't already, make sure you get a grown-up to help you hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on any of the new and exciting videos that we put out. Speaking of new and exciting, if there's a video that you'd love to see Ozzie do, make sure you send us a message on our socials, on Facebook or Instagram at Ozzie for Kids. We'll see you again soon, kids. And until then, stay keen. Oh, and by the way, did you happen to find the hidden Ozzie icon in that video? Yeah, make sure you look closely because they're in every single video. That's right, stay keen, kids.
Ozzie, 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 oi! Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.